Breaking news. The Supreme Court has just cleared the way for the controversial new federal agency, DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency, to access Americans' Social Security information. Created under President Trump's 2025 administration to fight fraud and modernize government, DOGE now has permission to tap into sensitive data, including your Social Security number, medical records, work history, and tax filings. This decision, issued as an emergency order without a full hearing, overturns previous court blocks designed to protect privacy. Privacy advocates warn this could set a dangerous precedent, risking millions' personal information without clear safeguards. The Supreme Court's quiet decision that could change your Social Security data forever. Hey everyone, welcome back. Today we're diving deep into a story that isn't just a headline. It's something that affects every single one of us. Recently, the Supreme Court made a decision that many people aren't talking about, but it impacts some of the most sensitive personal data you have: your Social Security information. And when I say sensitive, I mean everything: your medical records, your work history, your tax filings, your immigration status, and even details about your education and financial life. This isn't a hypothetical threat. It's happening now. And the agency at the center of it all is a new government group called DOGE, the Department of Government Efficiency. You might be wondering, who is DOGE? And why should you care about this? Why is the Supreme Court involved? And why did they issue what's called an emergency order instead of holding a full hearing? What does this mean for your privacy, your civil rights, and your control over your own data? Let's unpack all of that. And I want to hear from you. What concerns you most about the government having access to this kind of personal information? Drop a comment below, because this conversation is critical. What is DOGE, and why should you care? First, a bit of background. DOGE is a brand new federal agency established on the very first day of President Trump's second term in office in 2025. Its mission, on paper, sounds pretty reasonable: cut government waste, fight fraud, and modernize the bureaucracy that many Americans see as slow, outdated, and inefficient. Who wouldn't want the government to work better, right? But here's the catch. DOGE isn't just about recommending software improvements or helping agencies cut down on paperwork. They've been given, through this recent Supreme Court order, access to highly sensitive government databases, including the Social Security Administration's records. Data that includes everything you've ever shared when applying for benefits or simply living your life under the U.S. system. How did we get here? The legal battle behind the scenes. What's really surprising is how quietly this all happened. The decision granting DOGE access didn't come from Congress through the usual legislative process. No months-long hearings, no public debates. Instead, it came down from the Supreme Court in an emergency order. No oral arguments, no full court session, just a signed order by a majority of the justices lifting a lower court's block on DOGE's access. Let me give you some context about that lower court battle. Earlier this year, a district court judge stepped in to protect Americans' privacy by blocking DOGE from accessing the Social Security database. The judge was clear that allowing DOGE unrestricted access could violate the Privacy Act, a law designed to safeguard personal information held by the government. The court worried that giving this new agency a master key to your files could shatter the public's trust and open the door to privacy breaches. Why is this so controversial? What's at stake? Now, let's dig into why this is such a big deal. We're talking about much more than just numbers on a spreadsheet. This data includes deeply personal details: your medical history, tax filings, the names of your employers over the years, your birthplace, and sometimes even sensitive mental health information. This is stuff most people would never want to be shared or accessed without their explicit consent. The government claims that giving DOGE access is necessary to root out fraud and streamline services. In fact, one of the driving justifications was a high-profile claim made by Elon Musk, who helped launch DOGE before stepping down, that millions of deceased individuals were still receiving Social Security benefits illegally. Whether or not that claim is accurate, it became a rallying cry that helped justify this sweeping data access. But critics argue this is a dangerous precedent. Civil liberties groups, privacy advocates, and even some labor unions have raised alarms. They warn that once a government agency is allowed to access such broad personal information without robust safeguards, it sets a precedent that other agencies will follow. There are already reports that DOGE is preparing to request similar access to Medicare, Medicaid, Veterans Affairs, and other federal programs. The role of technology and Silicon Valley influence. What makes DOGE especially unique and troubling to some is the Silicon Valley mindset driving it. This is not your typical federal bureaucracy, slow to change and risk-averse. DOGE was created with the explicit goal of using cutting-edge technology, data analytics, and automation to modernize government operations. Elon Musk's involvement added a layer of tech mogul influence rarely seen in government agencies. He helped design and promote DOGE as the future of efficient governance, one that could fix government by applying private sector innovation and data-driven decision-making. But critics argue that bringing this startup mentality to government data privacy could be a recipe for disaster. When profit-driven companies like Facebook or Google mishandle data, we see the fallout. What happens when a government agency, with no commercial incentives but massive access to sensitive info, operates with fewer checks and balances? What are the privacy risks? Privacy advocates highlight that the sheer volume and sensitivity of the data accessible to DOGE pose major risks. Once personal information is exposed or misused, the damage can be irreversible. Unlike resetting a password, you can't reset your Social Security number or erase your medical history from government records. There's also the concern that without transparent oversight, this data could be used for purposes far beyond fraud prevention. What if the data is used for political targeting, discrimination, or surveillance? The risk is not hypothetical. History shows government agencies have sometimes overstepped boundaries when it comes to privacy. Supreme Court Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson's dissent. One of the few voices publicly voicing concern about the Supreme Court's order was Justice Ketanji Brown Jackson. In her dissent, she warned that granting DOGE this level of access without clear and enforceable safeguards is a huge risk to the privacy of millions of Americans. She argued that courts should have fully examined the legal and constitutional questions before lifting the block, a cautious approach that was unfortunately overruled. Her dissent highlights a crucial tension: the court's role in protecting individual rights versus enabling government efficiency. It's a debate that will continue as this case proceeds. What does this mean for you? If you're wondering what you can do, here's the bottom line. This is a wake-up call. It's more important than ever to stay informed about who has access to your data and how it's being used. Laws designed to protect your privacy are under threat, and new government agencies with broad mandates can operate quietly, away from public scrutiny. While the court battles continue, watchdog groups and journalists are working to uncover internal memos, policies, and decision-making processes behind DOGE's access. Freedom of Information Act FOIA requests are piling up as activists demand transparency and accountability. What's next? This Supreme Court order doesn't mean DOGE has free rein forever. The lawsuits are still working their way through lower courts. If privacy laws are ultimately upheld, DOGE could lose access or face significant restrictions. But the case sets a powerful precedent. If DOGE succeeds, other federal agencies could follow suit, potentially changing how your data is treated across the entire government. This could redefine the balance between government efficiency and personal privacy for years to come. Final thoughts. Why you should care. This isn't just about politics or government bureaucracy. It's about your fundamental right to control your own information. Once your data is out there, especially in government hands without your explicit consent, you lose control. There's no undo button. Whether you support efforts to streamline government or are skeptical of government overreach, the question remains, where do we draw the line between efficiency and privacy? It's a debate we all need to be part of. So, what would you do if you found out a brand new agency had unrestricted access to your Social Security file? Without asking you first? Would you trust them? Would you demand transparency? Let me know in the comments.